Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So this morning, instead of having a regular Bhagavatam class, we are having Prabhupada Lila Amrita class in honor of showing gratitude to Srila Prabhupada that on the 17th of September 1965, he landed in Boston Harbor to deliver the whole universe. So it's an important date to remember. Now you would wonder that why did I start Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya when there is no Bhagavatam? So you have to understand that Prabhupada Lila is also part of the Bhagavatam. Vedavyas, he is sitting up there in the Himalayas in Badrinath, choking down all the Leelas.
हरे कृष्णा. हिंदी में अनुवाद हो रहा है पीछे, तो जो हिंदी में अनुवाद सुनना चाहते हैं कृपा करके पीछे जाएं.
So he is writing all different Leelas happening. Now we understand by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada that he explains to us the depth of scriptures in the mood of bhakti, devotion, and how much the Vedic scriptures are. We only have access to some parts of the Vedic scripture, but actually the Lord's pastimes and his devotees' pastimes are going on since the beginning of creation. Now, if you look at the present state of our calendar, we are in the, I think, 51st year of Lord Brahma's birth. Now, Brahma's 1 year is 1000 yuga cycles. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwarpa Yuga, Kali Yuga. 4 of these Chatur Yugas makes 1 yuga. And such 1000 yugas makes 1 day of Brahma. So, we are in the halfway of mark of Brahma's life. So can you imagine when these kathas began, which we cannot comprehend or conceive. Of course, in those days we didn't have what we are so proud of, modern technology, that we have digitalized all the scriptures and recordings, everything. But Vedavyas had even a higher principle of passing down this knowledge. And because of that, this knowledge is still alive. And from my humble opinion, that when we are discussing Srila Prabhupada's pastimes, from the day he took birth in Calcutta till 1965, he departed the shores of India and went on to go to America, simply to preach the message of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this wasn't just because Prabhupada thought, I am such a learned person, I know so much about Lord Chaitanya, I will go and tell the world about Lord Chaitanya. No. That was because his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, instructed him that you are a learned man. Of course, when he first met Srila Bhakti Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada was a young man. When he went to see Bhakti Saraswati Thakur, and he was right at the back, at the end. He wasn't in the front. And Bhakti Saraswati, being a transcendental personality, he glanced his eyes all over, and his eyes caught that young man standing in the back. And he said, you are a learned man in English language. Take this message of Bhagavat to the English-speaking world. So Prabhupada took that instruction from his guru. And if you read this is volume 2 here in front of me, Srila Prabhupada Lila Amrita volume 2. But the first volume is Lifetime in Preparation. So in that volume, there is all the preparation Srila Prabhupada was making to go and fulfill the order of his guru. Now, we all understand from experience, from knowledge, from studying the scriptures, and also the instructions of all the previous acharyas, that a person who is a disciple in our Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya his or her success depends simply on the basis of fulfilling the order of the spiritual master. So unless until we take the order of the spiritual master as our life and soul, no matter how much you do, it is not going to be any use. Because whatever devotional service you offer, if it's not done in the mood of offering and following the order of the spiritual master, then it is of no value. See, just like, we are here in India, so we have the rupee. You have 1 rupee coin, 5 rupee coin, 10 rupee coin, then the notes, 5 rupee note, 10 rupee note, 20 rupee note, 50 rupee note, 100 rupee note. And of course this keeps changing according to the government's mood and the Reserve Bank of India. But nonetheless, if it's authorized by the Reserve Bank of India, that piece of paper is worth something. Otherwise, it's just piece of paper. It's priceless. I mean, it's useless. There's no price in it. But as long as there's a stamp on it, saying it is recognized by the Reserve Bank of India, then it begins to have some value. See, I don't know in India you have this, but in the West we have a game called Monopoly, and you have all this currency printed there. And when you play the Monopoly, you can become a millionaire by playing Monopoly. But it is just imagination money. It's no value. You take a 1,000 rupee note and go to the marketplace and say, I want to purchase anything. What will they say? They will look at it and say, are you crazy? So similarly, when we adhere to the order of the spiritual master, then that whatever you offer is now authorized by the Supreme Lord Himself. Because Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Ivam parampara praptam, that this knowledge is coming down in the disciplic succession and a bona fide disciplic succession. Now, Prabhupada says many times what bona fide means. Sometimes we have some misconception and we start drawing our own conclusions about who is a bona fide guru. Yeah? And then you kind of figure out, well, I read in the scripture, these are the descriptions given of a bona fide guru, a pure devotee. But this person who is acting as a guru, I don't see these qualities in him. So then you start making kind of offense against that person, because that person is also representing his guru. So as long as you are representing your guru, then you are also pure. Pure in a sense that you simply repeat what you hear, what you read from Prabhupada's books, and present that as it is. So Prabhupada was very, very conscious of this, and that is why he kept repeating that do not change things. What I have given you is perfect. You don't need to change anything, but repeat. So Prabhupada said, if you repeat what I have said, then you are repeating the message of the parampara. So this message is coming in that line of parampara, and we are very, very fortunate that Srila Prabhupada, he came to this material world. Now, some of us might think, well, I came to this material world also. All of us came to this material world. But under what circumstances we came to the material world? No one knows. Only Krishna knows. But Krishna knows why you came to the material world. You came to the material world because you want to become Ishvara. You want to enjoy the world, enjoy the universe. You want to do everything what God does. So God says, not in my kingdom. Because in my kingdom, I am the only God here. Just like Lord Brahma, in his Brahma Samhita prayer says, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adi Purusham. He is the original Purusha. So he is the original. And in his spiritual world, there is no other Govindas, only one. There is no duplicates or someone who will imitate like Govinda. You may dress like him, put on a blue makeup on your face, put a crown on your head with a peacock feather, hold a flute saying, I am Govinda. You can live in your illusionary world being Govinda, but you are not Govinda because you haven't got that position. Because ultimately our position is just Jivere Swarupa Hoy Nitya Krishna. We are just servants of the Supreme Lord. Not only that, but Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, you are but just a fragment of myself, part and parcel. Now, how big is this part and parcel? Of course, by Prabhupada's mercy, he's given us the dimension of the jiva, 1/10,000th of a tip of a hair. So, you may have, big, strong body, 6 feet tall, muscles bulging everywhere, saying, my soul is bigger than your soul because you're only 5 feet and I'm 6 feet tall. And look at my muscles. You don't have muscles. So therefore, my soul is bigger than your soul. It's an illusion. We are all same. There's a little mosquito flying around. He's got the same size soul as you and I. And then you turn around and you see a big elephant behind you. He's also got the same size soul. So soul is not depending on the size of the body. It is part and parcel. So we are very insignificant. We have no value. But value is added to us when we connect with the Supreme Lord. Now you cannot connect to the Supreme Lord directly. You cannot go in front of Radha Parthasari and say, I'm here, I'm going to connect with you. So then I am now soul surrendered unto you. Therefore I am a very important person now. Radha Parthasari will look at you and say, keep on dreaming. Keep on dreaming. Because you will never become Ishvara, or you will never become important to me. How do we become important to Krishna? Anyone has an answer to that?
By serving the Guru.
Well, one aspect. By following his instructions. We have many, many answers to this question. Or what does Krishna say? Sarva dharmam parijita mam ekam sharam raja aham tam sarva papavyo. So who becomes very dear to Krishna? One who is fully surrendered unto him. Following instructions come later, but we have to first surrender to him. Unless until you accept him as your Lord and Master, how are you going to accept his instructions? Just in ordinary world, our dealings. If you accept someone as superior to you, and if that person then instructs you, you'll accept that instructions. But otherwise, if you don't accept his authority, then you will not accept his instructions. And if you're not accepting his instructions, then what is the value, or what is the following his instruction when you are not accepting him? So we have to follow these instructions, but when we actually understand our position is to surrender fully. So as I said, Srila Prabhupada was quite happily playing in the spiritual world. And one day Krishna came and said, hey, you. And Prabhupada said, yes, you, come. I want you to go to the material world. And Prabhupada said, I don't want to go, I'm quite happy here. No, you have to go, because I have a mission for you. So Prabhupada was actually sent from the spiritual world to this material world to perform the preaching of who? The Supreme Lord himself, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he came before and established the Sankirtan movement. And after establishing the Sankirtan movement, many wonderful Vaishnavas came in line up to the point of Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada was destined to meet his Guru. Now, when you read Prabhupada's pastime, Prabhupada Lila, you'll see that from a very young age, where Prabhupada was living in Calcutta, just down the road from where he was staying, every morning, I don't know what you call here, but the child attendant would take the children from neighborhood to the school, accompany them to the school. And on the way to the school, there's that old temple of Radha Govindji. It is still there. Now Prabhupada would go in there and he would go straight in front of the deities and hold his hands, and with deep vision of seeing the Lord, he would start praying to the Lord. while the other kids are running around the courtyard. And then the attendant who's taking the children to the school, he says, okay, boys, let's go. Time out. So they go to school. So from the very beginning, Prabhupada was so much attracted to Krishna. So that means that he's not an ordinary person. We see, so many children born in our Grihastha families. And you have, 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 5-year-olds. Do you see them completely focused and mesmerized in Krishna's beauty? They're fortunate that they're born in Krishna devotee family, but they are not Vaikuntha people yet. But you can become a Vaikuntha person by following the process which Prabhupada has given. So, in our remembrance of Srila Prabhupada, especially this day, today of course is the 14th. 14th? What is the date? 14th, yeah. I'm traveling, so I keep losing track of time. So 14th of September. But actual date of Prabhupada's arrival is 17th of September, 1965. So you can work out that how many years ago Srila Prabhupada arrived on the shores of America, especially Boston Harbor. And there he stepped out and he looked at the sky and said, Lord, you have brought me here. Now, you tell me what I'm supposed to do. Only you can tell me. So of course, Prabhupada was fully dependent on Krishna to guide him. Now, imagine if you and I had to go in that situation, not in the young prime of our life, but in the what I call in English language, the fag end of our life, 70 years old. Basically, in England we have this saying, 1 foot in the grave. It means you are very near to meeting either your Maker, the Supreme Lord, or you can meet, most likely, Mr. Yamaraj. He's also very eager to see you. But if you are fortunate and receive even a drop of mercy of the pure devotee, then you don't see Yamaraj, but you see Krishna. So anyway, so Prabhupada, he went there and then he started this movement. Who amongst us can go out there and start a movement like Srila Prabhupada? None of us. I remember there was one of my god brother. He's a Manipuri, and my spiritual master Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj told him that you are brought up in Assam. Although he's Manipuri origin, but he's brought up in Assam. So he told him that you go and open a center in Assam. So he looked and said, yes, I will do it. But first, I need 2-3 crore rupees. Then I can go and open a center. How much money did Prabhupada have? 40 rupees or $4. Hardly anything. You cannot even buy a packet of chips there. What to speak of anything else. But Prabhupada did not say to his guru when he gave instruction, you are a young man, go and preach this message to the Western world. And Prabhupada said, yes, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur Prabhupada, I will go. But first, you give me rupees, dollars, euros, pounds, international currency. He did not think like that. Even as a young, successful person, Prabhupada was following his occupation, which was a chemist. And he could have got a wonderful job in one of these pharmaceutical companies who are making billions of dollars. And he could have become a millionaire. And why I am saying this is today, Prabhupada is a billionaire, if not even trillionaire. Because look at our society, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. All these Bill Gates and Ambanis and Adanis and all these guys, they are nothing in front of Prabhupada. Because Prabhupada has properties all over the world. Not only that, he has, you can say not unlimited, but he has got thousands and thousands of servants who are working for Prabhupada unpaid. Now, who can be a wealthy person like that? Do you find one wealthy person in this universe who has got hundreds of people working for him without any remuneration of finance? Nobody cares. I pay you, you say, yes, master, I'm your servant. The day I say, I'm not paying you anymore, who the hell are you? I'm going to find a new master. But Prabhupada, if he had done his duty as a normal human being and aspired to become a billionaire or trillionaire, he would have become one. Because all this was destined to him. But Prabhupada had a higher understanding. That higher understanding was to serve the Supreme Lord. Offer everything to the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada never kept anything for himself. Just imagine that Prabhupada had everybody at his feet. That's why his name is Prabhupada. All the Prabhus are at his lotus feet. Just like I said, thousands and thousands of servants all over the world are serving him without any return for any salary or any wages. And they're serving Prabhupada. And Prabhupada understood that whatever I get, I will give it to Krishna. Now, just see the Prabhupada's higher level of understanding. You all been to Vrindavan? Okay, so two very famous temples, Radha Madan Mohanji temple, Radha Govindji temple. You all been there? Of course, now it's not kind of in the same glory as it was when Srila Sanatana Goswami and Srila Rupa Goswami constructed that and installed the beautiful forms of Radha Govindji and Radha Madan Mohanji. And nonetheless, those beautiful temples are there, and you go there and you still find relatively intact, except for Govindji's top part. Top part is destroyed by the Muslims. But nonetheless, you go and see the parikrama of Govindji temple, Madan Mohanji temple. Do you find anywhere there is a plaque saying, here is a bhajan kutir, not bhajan kutir, but it's a residence of Sanatana Goswami or Rupa Goswami? Now, can you imagine when Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami built those beautiful temples, monuments? They were not short of a penny or two. They had enough money because they had enough finances financing him. And he could have said, yes, you build this beautiful temple for Radha Govindji, but here you build also my quarters. I am his servant. You don't find that. So same with his divine grace, Srila Prabhupada. When he got that property in Mayapur, and in Mayapur, when Prabhupada got the property, it wasn't that big what we have now, but it was reasonable size paddy field. And what did Prabhupada do that first thing? He constructed, or he asked his disciples to construct what we call the Bhajan Kutir of Srila Prabhupada now. Simple mud hut with straw thatch roof. Still the same is there. So, Prabhupada was staying there, but he was not staying alone. He was staying there with his disciples. And then Prabhupada saw that this is the beginning of Sridham Mayapur. And then Prabhupada said, but these Western devotees, they cannot live like this. So Prabhupada constructed the longest building in Bengal, the Chakra building, 3 floors for his disciples. And of course he built the what we call Lotus building now, where Sri Radha Madhava were installed. And on the top was 3 more floors of the guest house. For who? Because Prabhupada said, when we make life members, we will tell life members, yes, you please come to our ISKCON temple. We will give you 3 days of accommodation, high class accommodation for your support for this movement. So many life members were becoming members. Not because they like ISKCON, not because they like Krishna, but they like 3 days of accommodation free of charge and prasadam. Not only in Mayapur, but practically all over the world, every ISKCON center has some facility to accommodate. So Prabhupada created that for it. And then at the same time, Prabhupada did not say, now that we have money coming in, we have land, build a nice mansion for me. After all, I am the Jagat Guru. I am the Acharya of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness. Not less than the founder Acharya. He did not ask that. He just took one room in the Lotus building as his quarters, living very humbly. But he said, whatever we get, it is for Krishna and to accommodate those who will be attracted to Krishna. Because if we build a small hut, you think people will be coming to the temple? For example, our Sri Radha Ras Bihari in Mumbai, Juhu. Originally, Radha Ras Bihari was put in a tin shed. And if today Radha Ras Bihari is still sitting in the tin shed, you think all these thousands and lakhs of people would come? Nobody would come. When I remember when we were here, before we got this property, we had a temple in Kailas Society. Was it Kailas? Greater Kailas. A humble house. Sri Radha Parthasari was there. How many thousands of people were coming for Ramnami, for Janmashtami, for Gaur Punim? Any festival? Not many. As soon as, by mercy of Gopal Krishna Maharaj, this place came up, and we're getting thousands and thousands of people coming here. To the point, we cannot handle this many people coming here. So, Srila Prabhupada is not an ordinary person. That's why, in my estimation, when the next set of Bhagavatams come out by the divine author Vyasadeva, there will be a huge chapter in that. I would not say one chapter, there was a huge canto in there, whole canto dedicated simply to His divine grace, ISKCON Swami Prabhupada. So you and I won't be there to see it, but the future generations will read the Bhagavatam and open the Bhagavatam and say, 12th canto, and this is the 13th and 14th canto. Wow, this 15th canto is all about ISKCON Swami Prabhupada. But our good fortune is that we are living that chapter in our life. Right now, we are part of that. So however insignificant we are, still Vyasadeva is looking at us and say, okay, this devotee has rendered this service, this devotee has rendered this service. He will get a mention somewhere in there. But we don't do this on the basis that, oh, in the future my name will be in Bhagavatam. You know, in the Bhagavatam, my name will be there, everybody is like, oh, look at this person. No, we don't do that because we don't do for any credit. We simply do our service as an offering. Prabhupada never thought that he wants to be glorified all over the world. He just wants to live simple. Because we are remembering Prabhupada, so I want you to understand who Prabhupada is. When Prabhupada was in Juhu, still tin shed, and devotees were going out, preaching, trying to make life members. And then Prabhupada had many house programs at some wealthy people. So devotees thought at that time that Srila Prabhupada is not an ordinary person. He's our guru, he's founder Acharya. So we have to get him a befitting vehicle in which he can go to these programs. So some German disciples thought, we'll bring you a Mercedes. Now, in those days, in the early 70s, you can say, Mercedes was not a common car in this country. The only country was the all humble ambassador. And even that was not Indian. It was brought by the British. And German devotees asked Prabhupada, we want to get you a Mercedes. So Prabhupada said, no need. Because even to get a Mercedes from Germany in those days, I think, we are talking about Mr. Trump, 100%, 200%, 300% tariff. That time it was 400% duty on a vehicle which is coming from outside. So nobody would buy one from outside unless you are super, super rich. So Prabhupada said, no need. Just buy an ambassador. But Prabhupada says, this is an ambassador ordinary car. Prabhupada said, that's okay. What is the function of the car? A Mercedes worth 5 crore rupees or an ambassador worth 2 crore rupees, 2 lakh rupees. What is the function? Function of a vehicle is take you from A to B. Would it make any difference if you go from A to B in a Mercedes or an ambassador? What is your goal? Your goal is to reach your destination. Safely, you reach your destination. It doesn't matter that you come in a BMW or Audi or Mercedes or Rolls Royce. Who cares? But do you think that if you reach your destination from A to B in a Rolls Royce, you will get a better feeling? No. There was a joke in the old days that a rich man in Rolls Royce is sitting there and he had got some losses in the stock market and he's sitting there and crying. And a guy in an ordinary average car, which was a Ford car you can say, sitting there, he's also lost his job and he's crying. You think the crying of the guy in the Rolls Royce is any better than the guy crying in the Ford? Both have experienced losses. They're both crying. But do you think, oh, I'm crying in the Rolls Royce, so my crying is better than your crying? That's foolish. So anyway, Prabhupada took whatever was given to him as a practical. That's why Prabhupada said our principles is utility is principle. Whatever Krishna gives you, you utilize to the best of your ability in serving Krishna. Not for ourselves. We don't need anything. No, sometimes, I don't have so much experience of Delhi, because I don't spend so much time here. I spend a lot of time at the Bhaktivedanta Manor, which is another very, very super rich property owned by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Today's value is something like, I would say, no less than 50 million pounds, just the property. So you can imagine that, that property is His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada's, and the property's name is Bhaktivedanta Manor. So it's dedicated to Srila Prabhupada. So the point is that when I'm staying there, and then we tell our Sankirtan devotees, okay, Prabhu's time to go out on Sankirtan. Oh, our van is broken, we need a new van. And the Sankirtan leader says, why you need a new van? Oh, you have to go to Sankirtan. Now, why do you want to drive 50 miles away from the manor to distribute books? Where you can walk 2 miles down the road and distribute books. Utility is the principle is not there. I need a van, a new van, so I can go all the way out 50 miles from here and distribute books. But what about those people who are just in your access, just down the road? Yeah. For example, here at our Radhapathasari temple, you can take the books from our BBT in a shoulder bag and just walk out in the street here. And you go up and down here, or just go further on the other side, all around within 2 kilometer radius. How many people can you catch? Thousands. Now, have you saturated all these people's hearts and homes with books? Why? And we say, we are Sankirtan. We want to be number one Sankirtan temple in the world. You're not going to become number one like that. You have to have a desire in your heart to give mercy to everyone. So I would say, if you are really, really, serious to be part of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement, then you go on every house, knock on every door and saying, Hare Krishna. We just from across the road. Have you been there? You'll probably find 50% of them have not even been here. So then you invite them, please come. Come take shelter of the Supreme Lord. Take the blessings. And then you give them a book. Say, read this book will change your life. Believe me, these books which Srila Prabhupada has given us can change everybody's lives. How many of you sitting here in this temple room who came to this Krishna consciousness because they received a book? Show of hands. And how many of you came here by meeting a devotee? Okay. So, somehow or other, we were either connected with Krishna by meeting his wonderful devotees or by recipient of one of these books. And others, they come because they hear that there is a nice ISKCON Hare Krishna temple here. Let's just go and see it out of curiosity. So they come. And they come and see the beautiful Lord of Radha Parthasarathi, Sitaram, Gonitai, and now we have Lakshmana Singhadev. And then they see the darshan, they get blessings, then they get a little prasadam. This is the magic thing. And then when they honor the prasadam, boom, the fire is lit in the heart. You know, when you want to light a fire, how does it start? With the one spark. And when the spark is there in the pile of wood or coal or whichever fuel you want to use, then it ignites. And then very quickly it becomes bigger and bigger fire. But it's just one spark which got the ball rolling. So similarly, when we go out on Sankirtan, give them some little prasadam, even if you don't have prasadam, you just follow you and says, Hare Krishna, please come to our temple. Just by inviting them to the temple and they're hearing Hare Krishna, the spark is there. As Prabhupada explains, that every jiva, at least those who have got human body, they have got love of Godhead in their heart. It's dormant. What needs to be is the spark to awaken that dormant love. And that spark, when it is there, it will awaken you, and all of a sudden you go, and then you go like a madman. And then you want to say, I want to go to Hare Krishna. And then you go home and tell your parents, oh, I think I want to give my life to Hare Krishna. The parents may say, no. You go to IIT, and you go to this college and that college and get a degree, and then you'll get a job, and then you'll get lots of money, and you'll be happy. Now, look around. So many people have got IIT degrees from prestigious colleges up and down the country. They've got prestigious jobs, earning lakhs of rupees. Then you say, are you happy? Who is happy? Nobody is happy. Because you are never happy. Because in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Kama, Krodha, Moha, Lobha. Moha means desire. It is always there. So, and desire is something which can never be satisfied. No matter what you do, you'll never be satisfied. You want more. You want little more. And we start getting a little more. What kicks in? The lobha. The greed kicks in. And the greed keeps telling you, hey, desire more. Okay, I'm desiring more. And then you get desire more, you get more. And you get more. And what happens? You're not happy. You're frustrated. Then finally you sit down and say, why? Then someone says, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Say, wow! That is happiness. Why I am saying this is that devotees, when they begin to chant the holy name of the Lord, they begin to feel happy. And when they begin to feel happy, they want to do more. And after chanting more, they become serious in the heart, and the Paramatma in the heart is saying, yes, now do a little more. So here, the moha is working differently. It's working on a spiritual level. Because moha means desire. Now Srila Prabhupada says, desire can never be vanquished. You can never be desireless. Although nowadays we have so many less, cordless phone, friendless people, so many things. But desireless, nobody can be. There is always going to be desire. So by the teachings of Srila Prabhupada and his devotees, we get to understand how to transform that desire from materialistic desire to spiritual desire. And when that transformation takes place, then you become happy. And you become happy even with little. You don't need so much. I will tell you that in London, when we first started our temple there in Seven Berry Place, it's a humble dwelling. It's not a huge building. It's a long building, but we just had one portion of it. And if you go today and see that, oh, this is it. This is Radha and Ishwar's kingdom. And in that small place, normally it was capable of accommodating 5 to 7 people. We had 85 people. 1 bathroom, 1 toilet. But the devotees were happy. And today those devotees who joined Berry Place, and we meet up at the manor on a festival day, and you come to the manor now, it's a huge property. We have the manor building itself, where Gokulananda is situated. Then we have the Sri Krishna Haveli, it is even an extended part. Then we have, can you imagine, a Gaushala, 5 million pounds Gaushala. It's a 7-star Gaushala for the cows. But the devotees, when they come, and they say, it was better in Berry Place. Because they were not looking for opulence. They were looking for love of Krishna. And when they were living simple, they were getting love of Krishna. That is why, what did his Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada say? Simple living, high thinking. What is our situation? High living, simple thinking. So we're thinking simple, but our living is very high. We're not happy. Now, very soon, they are going to launch iPhone 17 Pro Max, made in India. She said, we are proud. I'm buying made in India, making our nationalism even stronger. But you already have iMax 14 and 15. You think iMax 17 is going to make your life any better? Yeah, put a hole in your pocket, but it's not going to make any better. Just like as I said, what is the purpose of a vehicle? Take you from A to B. What is the purpose of a phone? Communicate. Now you think that because now we have smartphones, our communication is any better? Because I remember in my young days, we didn't have any phones except that you had the landline. And you had to go there and go crank, 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 crank. Hello, hello, hello. And sometimes you get cross line. You can't get your destination straight away. Now, of course, with modern communication, you can sit here and if you have a roaming facility, New York, Sydney, South Africa, you can call anywhere, instant connection. I still remember as a child in Africa, when my father had to make a call to India, to his brother, he had to go to post office, then book a call. And then they will say, okay, we'll book your call for this and this time and this day. And sometimes even after booking the call, you don't get the call through. But communication was there. What was the communication? Communicate what you want to give the message. Nowadays, what we call modern communication, you're driving in your car and you press this facility in the car, ring, and you're like 200 meters from your home, and you call your wife and say, okay, I'm just 200 meters from the home, I'm coming home. Is that a message you want to give? You're going to come home anyway. Unless if you're unfortunate and you meet an accident, then you probably end up in a hospital or dead. Otherwise, every morning you leave your home, after you finish your work, you're going to come home. What is the need to go phone again and say, I'm coming home? I'm only 200 meters from home. Okay, I'm now 50 meters from the home. And you reach the door, before ringing the doorbell, I am at the door. What is this? Communication? No. This is Maya. So, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, he has opened our eyes. And he gave us this wonderful Krishna consciousness. Now just imagine, in 1965, when Srila Prabhupada put his first foot on the Jaladuta in Calcutta, it was the beginning of new world. Nowadays there's so much talk about new world order. This is the real new world order, bringing Krishna to everyone. But if, for example, Prabhupada decided, no, I'm an old man, I can't go, I have only $4 in my pocket, I'll just go back to Vrindavan and sit in Radha Damodar temple in a humble bhajan kuti and go Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, and depart this world. No, he did not do that. He said, no matter what difficulties I have to face, I'm going to do it. Why? Because this is the order of the Supreme Lord. And why is the Supreme Lord's order? Because he came through his spiritual master. Because Krishna speaks to you through the spiritual master. So he gives you instructions, he guides you, and then slowly you continue in your journey to offer devotional service through the medium of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Prabhupada, when he established this and registered this in New York in 1966, he said the purpose of this movement, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, he only had one center in 26 Second Avenue. So where is the international society? Where is the international centers all over the world? But Prabhupada had a vision. Krishna told him, don't worry, just do it. So when he did, he said, this International Society for Krishna Consciousness is established to facilitate devotion and bhakti. We are here to offer everyone opportunity to become a devotee and serve the Lord. That is our business. Now sometimes we forget this because we are already here. So I'm here, I'm a devotee. And then we forget everything else. No. We have to think, I am here because someone made an effort to bring Krishna to me. So I must now go and give Krishna to someone else. What is the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Anyone? Very famous instruction. Yes. Yare dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. Wherever you go, whoever you meet, you tell them about Krishna. So I will ask a test to you guys here. How many of you today have met someone today, other than the devotees? On your way from your home, come to the temple. Did you meet anyone? Did you see some random people in the streets when you were coming here? Did you tell them, excuse me, can I tell you something about Krishna? It's not my business. Let them do what they want. I'm going to the temple. And when you come here, and like every morning, after Tulsi Puja, we give a report to Radha Parthasarathi that we this much books, this much service we render, this much plates of prasadam was distributed. So what is you are going to give to Radha Parthasarathi? Go, oh, please save me, help me, give me this, give me that. No, we have to go and say, dear Lord, for your pleasure, I met 3 people today and told them about Krishna. Tomorrow I'll meet 10 people and tell them about Krishna. The next day I will give more. Just like Srila Prabhupada's vision was that sometimes, in the early days, devotees would come in the evening very tired, and then they get an opportunity to go and take darshan from Prabhupada. They're all sitting there, and they say, Srila Prabhupada, today I did 10 books. Prabhupada said, yes, very good. Double that. Now, the disciple who did 10 books was thinking he will get lots of patting on the back. Yes, well done, and get some glorification. No, yes, it's okay. Double it. The same in our mood. Because whenever we approach Krishna, what do? We offer him. What do you offer? Because many guests are coming, they're buying flower garlands from outside, or buying some fruits, or some sweets they're bringing. But a devotee of Krishna, what does he bring to Krishna? A report. Krishna is more impressed by your report, that what you have done for Krishna today. then he bring a 50 rupee box of pera from the mithai wala shop. He didn't do anything. He did the hard work. He just paid him money and just bring and say, Krishna, this is for you. You think Krishna is waiting for your sweets? Yeah. He is not interested in eating sweets. Because Mother Yashoda is always giving you so many sweets, more sweets than you can ever give him. So of course it's a gesture you can offer, but more than that, as a devotee, as dedicated devotees of our movement, our business is to hold our hands like this and say, Dear Lord, today I have done this service for you. I distributed so many books, I spoke to so many people about Krishna, I invited so many people to come and see you, I gave so much prasadam. You give a positive report of what you have done. For whose pleasure? For pleasure of Guru and Gauranga. That is our business. Other than that, we have no business. If you think you have better business than that, I'm afraid you are under illusion. And then when you are thinking like that, I've got something better to do than do service for Krishna, then you are not actually doing anything better. It's all this thing that Maya Devi is saying, one more in my control. And she will capture you in his false illusion, thinking, yes, I have to do this, that and other. No. Your only business is to serve Krishna. And as Mahaprabhu says, Yare dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. Wherever you go, give everyone Krishna upadesh. And if you are not confident enough to speak about Krishna, not to worry. Take a book. And we are very fortunate by the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. We have a small book to a large book and many medium books. So you can carry any books, and when any one of these books someone can afford, 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 50 rupees, it's not a big deal. But when they invest their hard-earned money in buying one of these books, it's not money they are giving to Krishna. They are giving their sacrifice for Krishna. Krishna is interested only in sacrifice. Krishna says, anything that is offered to me in yagya, I accept. Other than that, I don't care. So unless until you sacrifice something for Krishna, Krishna is not interested. Because he is self-satisfied. How can you satisfy Krishna? He is a self-satisfied Purusha. You cannot satisfy him. Because he is already Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma. He is already self-satisfied. Nothing external is going to make him happy. But he sees that someone is making an endeavor to serve him. That Krishna recognizes. And on basis of that service, we go forward in our life. And we continue till the last breath. And then at the moment of last breath, Krishna says, no problem, the gates are open to Goloka. Otherwise, diversion. Sometimes when you're driving and roadworks are going on, say diversion. So you take a diversion and go this way, that way here. So then Krishna says, if you're not 100% in the mood of service, because after all this is bhakti movement. Bhakti means devotion, and devotion means service. So if you're not in the bhakti mood and service, then Krishna says, diversion, Yamaloka, Patala Loka, so many lokas, unlimited lokas in this universe where you can go and try and do whatever you want to do. And you will not be happy there either. Nobody's happy. I think there's only one person who's very, very happy, who is in the lower hellish planets. Can anyone name that person? Yes, Bali Maharaj. Why Bali Maharaj is happy? Because he was pushed all the way down to the lower hellish planets. But under the condition that he said, I will go there, no problem, because I've given everything to you. But your lotus feet will always be on my head. So even Patala Loka, the lotus feet of the Lord is on Bali Maharaj's head. But I don't think you and I will be that fortunate. We'll probably be going with so many desires there and try to fulfill them, thinking happiness, happiness, happiness. It's like chasing the rainbow. You will never find the rainbow. It's imagination. So happiness in this material world is all imagination. The only happiness you will find in this material world really is when you chant the holy name, as Prabhupada says, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. So if you chant Hare Krishna, you'll be happy. Otherwise, you will not find happiness. So I think it's 9:10. I'll stop here. Thank you very much for your attention. Please take away this message. Don't forget Prabhupada. Every day we have to remember Prabhupada. Just this thought came to me. You see, we have so many disciples of Srila Prabhupada are slowly departing this world, who were actually very fortunate to be in personal contact with Prabhupada. Slowly they are all going. And once they are gone, you will not have the first-hand information of Prabhupada. You will get the second generation and third generation and the fourth generation. Of course, by mercy of Srila Maharaj, he was compiling this Lila Amrita, so we have that. And there are many other devotees, disciples of Prabhupada writing their memoirs, and their connection like Hari Suri's Transcendental Diary, a movie. Now forget movie is all Maya. You see, we read. When you read, means you have to focus your eyes. Movie look like this and you forget. Anyway, the point is that our life is meant for satisfying Srila Prabhupada. And how can you satisfy Prabhupada and show our gratitude to Prabhupada? Is to do what he did. He went out. In the early days, before ISKCON was established, he was printing his Back to Godhead magazine, 2 pages, and he would himself go in the streets of Delhi and distribute. He's showing by example. Now, if Prabhupada can do that, what to speak of you and me? So if you want to show gratitude to Prabhupada, then it's nice to have this festival. In Boston they're having a 3-day festival at Boston Harbor. All Prabhupada disciples getting there. Many people who are in America will go there and try and connect with Prabhupada. But this doesn't come like an anniversary or every 10 years, every 20 years, or 30 years. Every day Prabhupada is here. Have you seen Prabhupada? He's not here one day. Every day he's here. We may be here or not here, but he is every day here. And he's looking. All of us. And saying, yes, he came again. He came again. Oh, he came again. Oh, he didn't come yesterday. What was so important? So, we have to show our gratitude to Prabhupada. And if we show our gratitude to Prabhupada, then there is some hope that we will get mercy of Krishna. And when you get mercy of Krishna, then your life is successful. So please be conscious to remember Prabhupada every day, not Vyasa Puja or Tirobhav or some anniversary of this, that and other. Every day, when you wake up your eyes in the morning, you say, okay Krishna, I'm alive. One more day to serve Krishna and Prabhupada. Until that day comes when your eyes don't open, then okay, that's Krishna's choice. So thank you very much once again. Hare Krishna.